Okay, we're going to start with the next English lesson, which is from Unit 1, The Thief's Story, which is 1.2 in your textbooks. The author, Ruxin Bond, is a British descendant and has been staying in India. He was born on 19th May 1934. And apart from him winning many awards like the Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan, he has also written stories for a number of movies as well and TV shows. Before we start with the lesson, I would like you to understand a basic of what this entire story is all about. It's about a 15-year-old boy who is actually a thief, and he has a habit of changing his name so that the police and his older employers cannot catch him. In this story, he has kept his name as Hari Singh. The other person in this story is a 25-year-old person named Anil, and Anil is a writer. This entire story unfolds on how the thief betrays Anil by committing a theft, but retracts later on. In other words, he rethinks what he has done and comes back to the writer. So let us start. We'll first see the introduction of the characters. I was still a thief when I met Anil, and though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. As you would see, he's using first person approach. That means this entire story is written at the point of view of the thief, the 15-year-old boy, and his experience and his side of the story. So he meets Anil, and by then, at the age of 15 itself, this boy is already experienced in robbing people. He has a successful hand. That means he has been robbing people for quite some time. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25, a tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind and simple, even for my purpose. I hadn't had much luck of late, and though I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. Here the narrator meets Anil. At that point, Anil is watching a wrestling match. And Anil's description is given here, which shows that he's being targeted by the thief based on his appearance. So he says that he's a tall person, lean means he's slim, and looks easygoing. Matlab, he does not take much tension. He's kind enough and simple, and this is enough for the thief's purpose. And here the purpose is to be able to rob this person. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making friends. So here, the approach that the thief has taken is that of praise. He is praising Anil and trying to make friends with him. Now, when you say flattery, flattery is normally words that you use when you don't actually mean them. Okay, now this is a good way of making friends. So the thief is using this as an approach to get to know Anil. So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. So when Anil replies to the thief, so do you, he says that in a way he has caught the thief flattering, or rather trying to flatter him by saying that he looks like a wrestler. So in reply, Anil also replies that you also look like a wrestler. And now the thief is not used to this. So he is taken by surprise, because at that time the thief was very thin and looked nothing like a wrestler. Well, I modestly said, I do wrestle a bit. Now the thief obviously is lying over here because he does not wrestle. He is just trying to be modest because he's already been caught out by Anil. So this is the way he comes down. His approach of flattery now is not going to work. Therefore, he's used a modest approach, a very simple approach. What's your name? Hari Singh. I lied. I took a new name every month. That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. As we had seen earlier, his name was Hari Singh, and again he lies to Anil. The whole reason for him lying is so that in the future, if the police is involved, the police normally would get a wrong name, and that makes it more difficult for the police to be able to catch him. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting, and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Now, since Anil followed wrestling, so he had a lot to talk about. So he was talking about how the wrestlers are well-oiled, and as the wrestlers would normally do, they were grunting and lifting and throwing each other. Now, since the thief did not have much to say, after a while, Anil got up and walked away. Okay, now here the thief realizes that this person is going. So he casually follows Anil once Anil leaves from that place. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. I wanted to work for you, I said. But I can't pay you. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. Now the thief again tries, because now Anil is walking away. So again he tries and he says hello again. And he smiles at Anil. This time it is more appealing. He's already used the flattery method. Then he used the humble method, and now he's using a more appealing method. He's trying to smile and get his work done. And he says that I want to work for you. Anil in reply says, but I can't pay you. So Anil now has said that I don't have the money, I cannot pay you your salary. So the thief has to think a bit, because now what has happened is the whole reason he was behind Anil is because he wanted to rob him. And now that he knows that Anil cannot pay him, he cannot afford the money, the thief has to rethink, because now his entire plan and his entire time spent to try and get Anil to take him home has failed. So he thinks maybe he has misjudged the person. I asked, can you feed me? Can you cook? I can cook. I lied again. If you can, then maybe I can feed you. After rethinking, since the thief does not have anybody he knows in this city, and he doesn't have a place to stay, he doesn't have food to eat, so he asks if Anil can feed him. So Anil replies, if you can cook, I can try and feed you. Now again you see that the thief is lying again. He says, yes, I can cook. And because of that, Anil takes him home. So he took me to a room over the Jamna sweet shop and told me I could sleep in the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible, because Anil gave it to the stray dog and told me to be off. but I just hung around, smiling in my most appealing way, and he couldn't help laughing. So you see here, when the thief actually does cook the food, it is so bad that Anil gives that food to the dogs which are outside. It is not worth eating. Now, at this, he also tells the thief to go away from here. Okay, but then the thief doesn't have any place to go, so he still hangs around and he smiles at Anil in a very appealing way, like how he had done earlier. At this, Anil looks at him and he starts laughing. Okay, now the second chance in life. So the story moves on. Later, he patted me on the head and said, "Never mind. He'd teach me to cook." He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. I was grateful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. Now, you see here, Anil is now giving the thief a second chance in life. He is willing to not only teach him to cook, but to also read and write. In other words, he is able to help him get educated. Now, at that point of time in the thief's life, education meant a lot. The reason being that if he was able to um, read and write and calculate, um, there was a lot of potential for him in the future. Okay, so when Anil said he could teach him to cook, write, and calculate, this made the thief think that education would change his life and he would be able to become a successful person in his life, which means it was a second chance for the thief. Now, as days went by, things became routine. Um, his daily affairs, it was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the daily supplies, usually making a profit of a rupee a day. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he didn't seem to mind. Anil made money by fits and starts. He would borrow one week, lend the next. He kept worrying about the next paycheck. But as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for a magazine, a queer way to make a living. Now, this had started to become a daily routine for the thief. What he used to do was he used to get up in the morning and he used to make the tea. And for the whole day's supplies, things like vegetables and other things, what he had to buy in the day to make lunch and dinner, he would take money from Anil, go to the shops and buy his groceries. But he used to try and save up 1 rupee a day. Now Anil knew that he was saving up money from there, but Anil did not seem to mind. It didn't worry him much. Okay, because Anil was such a person that when he got his paycheck or his salary, he also used to go out and celebrate. He used to spend his money. He was not a person who saved money. Okay, and when his money got over, he used to either borrow from other people or at any given point of time, if he had some money spared left, he would lend other people money so that he could take it back from them when he needed it. Okay, and another thing mentioned here is Anil was a writer in a magazine. Okay, and that is how he would make his living. That is how he would get his salary. Coming to the money, the main plot and the whole reason the thief was at Anil's house. One evening he came home with a small bundle of notes, saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. At night, I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. I had been working for Anil for almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, had not done anything in my line of work. I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door. I could come and go as I pleased. He was the most trusting person I have ever met. Now you see here, Anil one day comes home with a little money in his hand. Okay, he tells the thief that he had just sold a book. So apart from him writing for a magazine, he was also working on a book which he had just sold. And he had got an advance on that book. The thief sees Anil keeping the money under the mattress. Okay, now remember, he's a thief, even though it has been almost a month, but his basic instinct is to keep an eye on things. And this was a good opportunity for him to rob Anil. In the past 1 month, the thief had gained Anil's trust. How he had gained the trust? By working for him and doing all his work. The thief now had a set of keys for the house and could come and go anytime. Now, the thief also mentions here that Anil was a very trusting person. That means Anil would trust nearly anybody. And because of this, later in the lesson we will see it becomes very difficult for a thief to break someone's trust. Okay? Now the intention of the robber. Okay? And this is why it was also difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed. But it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he's being robbed, and that takes out all the pleasure out of the work. Well, it's time I did some real work, I told myself. I'm out of practice, and if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. So you see, what is the intention of the robber here? It is to finally do some work. That means this person had not robbed anybody from a very long time, apart from the little money that he used to take out from the shopping. Okay, and the thief explains that it is more fun to rob a greedy man, not a person who does not even know he's being robbed. So you see here, the thief is not only robbing over here, but he is also taking pleasure in it. He's enjoying the act of robbing somebody. Okay. He also thinks a greedy man will earn the money back since money is important to him. But when it comes to careless people, they will feel sad for some time, but they will get over it. And apart from that, the thief feels that if Anil would have this money, anyway he would go out and party and he would waste all the money on his friends. So why not take this money and go forward? Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor, considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more wrinkles on my face, though mine was mostly scars. Now you see the approach to the thief. The thief made his plan to take the money and catch the train to Lucknow, which leaves at 10:30 p.m. The thief had many marks on his face, unlike Anil, who had a clear face. Because one of the other reasons Anil had a clear face is he had no worries in his life. He was very content and very happy with the way he was. And this is the way the thief had made his plan to rob Anil. Now, coming to the actual theft. My hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. When I was on the road, I began the run. I had the notes at my waist held there by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the note. 600 rupees in 50s. I could live like an oil rich Arab for a week or two. So finally, the thief does his work. He takes the money from under the mattress and heads towards the station as he had planned. At first, he starts running and then starts to walk once he feels that he's at a safe distance. He counts the notes, which are a total of 600 rupees in 50 rupee notes. And this money, since he did not have a pocket, he had not planned on what to wear when he was leaving. And normally in the night, most people sleep with their pajamas on. So the notes were kept in place only with a string of his pajamas. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had still to pick up speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages. But I hesitated. For some reason I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. Now you see here, the thief is trying to get away, or he's trying to run away. The first thing you would notice that when he comes onto the platform, that he does not stop to buy a ticket. The reason being he had never ever done that. He had always, he was a thief, so he never really spent money on these things. He would just take him where the train would go, and even if he were ever caught, the ticket collector would take him out from the train. So he would get down, and that would be his new place where he would stay. Okay, so the thief reaches the station, and he um, now finds that the train is moving. Now, when he says the train is moving, it is not moving fast. It is just starting to leave the station, which normally would be very easy for him to get onto the train. But he hesitates. Now, the whole reason of him hesitating from this particular reason is from getting onto the train is the fact that he feels guilt. He somehow at the back of his mind knew that Anil's trust would be broken, and because of which he loses his chance to get away and he does not get onto the train. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help, and I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. Okay, so now you see here the realization of the thief. He realizes that his chance of escaping is gone. Now, he did not have a place to stay because he did not have friends. He always thought that friends would only get him caught because they would be weak and they would tell him who he is or tell the police who he is and he would get caught. So that is the reason he had never really made any friends. Um, He also did not want to stay at any of the hotels because he would have to pay money. And if you would have paid money with these 50 rupee notes, if the police ever came and inquired at these places, um, the thief was, as you know, he was young. He was just 15 years old, and for a 15-year-old person to have such a lot of money would have been suspicious. And when the police would have asked that um, how was the money paid, and little hotel owner or the little lodge owner would have said that he paid with 50 rupee notes, then it would have been easier to make out that it was the same person. So that's why he does not want to raise any suspicions. Okay, now he was standing alone at the station, so he starts to walk back towards the house and he passes the bazaar on the way. Now, this is the thief's experience. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of man's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. So over here, you see that the thief is sharing his experience. He, over the years that he had robbed people, um, he had made a study. He knew that a greedy man would get frightened because a greedy man is a person who would always have money, and the fact that he was robbed once, it would happen to him many other times again, and that is why he would be um afraid. A rich man showed anger. A rich man would show anger. Why? Because a rich man has earned his money and he would get very angry that how a person is not earning his money, he is robbing the money. So he would get very angry about it. A poor person would just accept it. He would say, "Jo ho gaya to ho gaya, that is it. I can't do much. If I've been robbed, the money is gone, it's gone, no problem." But Anil was none of this. Anil was a person who would show less sadness. But even that little sadness would not be because of the money. It would be because his trust was broken. As we seen earlier, that Anil's personality shows that he is a very trustworthy person. He would trust anybody. So Anil would feel most offended when his trust was broken. So this itself was a new experience too for the thief as well. Now coming to the guilt, I found myself in the middle. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly. It was early November, and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. So the signs of guilt is now shown by the thief. Okay. Now he's sitting in an open maidan on a bench. Now it's already early November, so it was not only chilly, which means it was a cool wind was blowing, but also a little drizzle had started. It started to rain a little. And this had already made the thief a little discomfortable because or uncomfortable because nobody likes to really be wet and cold at the same time. Okay, after a while it starts to rain and he gets completely wet. Even the notes that he had now become damp from the rain. So he finally takes shelter under a clock tower. Okay, and the time in the clock tower shows about midnight. Midnight means 12 o'clock in the night. He thinks back. Anil's money in the morning, he would probably he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. So you see, thinking back, the thief realizes that Anil would have given him some money anyway. He didn't have to rob it, he would have still got money. However, now he would not be able to do anything he had been doing for all this time. So, what he was doing is he was doing household things, he was cooking, he was going to the bazaar, he was learning to read and write. That means the thief was busy and now he would not be able to do all those things. And and all this time, but the most important thing that he would not get the chance to learn to read and write, and that is what was going to change his life. So he realizes that at this point of time. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences I knew would one day bring me more than a few hundred rupees. It was simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and a respectable man was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. Okay, so the thief realizes what he would have lost if he would have ran away that day. Okay, so the thief had time to think and reflect on the things he would miss out on. If he had gone away, he wanted to become a respectable and clever man, so that chance would have been lost. Okay, Anil was giving him the chance to learn to read and write. This will help him become what he wanted to, because stealing and getting caught was a simple process. But reading and writing would be a lifelong lesson for him to survive in this world. Okay. And after he had met Anil, this had become his life's goal. For him to become a big man, he knew that he had to read and write and calculate. That is something he had to do. And if he was able to read and write and calculate, it was worth much more money than this 600 rupees that he had with him right now. I hurried back to the room, feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway. In clouded moonlight, Anil was still asleep. I crept to the bed, head of the bed, and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remembered I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. So this is returning the money that the thief had robbed. So the thief goes back to Anil's house and he sees Anil is still sleeping. He quietly puts the notes where he had taken them from, which is under Anil's mattress. In the process, he feels Anil's breath on his hand since the notes had to be put under the mattress. Okay, so the thief knows that it is easier to steal, but returning the money undetected. That means Anil should not know that he actually returned the money. So it's even more difficult. I woke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50 rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you will be paid regularly. So in early morning when the thief gets up, he sees that the tea has already been made by Anil. And Anil comes to him with a 50 rupee note in his hand. At that point of time, the thief thinks that he has been caught. However, Anil gives him money and tells him that he has made some money and now will be regularly paid. So you see, um, in a way, he is caught because obviously the notes were damp, but he is not caught also because then he had not actually broken Anil's trust. He comes back. So Anil accepts him back and he gives him 50 rupees and tells him that he'll be paid. Okay, my spirits rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. As you see, how the thief gets a second chance in life. When he takes the note from Anil, he sees that the note is still wet. That means he knows that Anil knows that the thief had done something. But his lips or his eyes both did not show any signs of it. And again, you notice in the beginning of the chapter how Anil gets a appealing smile from the thief. Same way again, you see that he gives an appealing smile to Anil again. The only difference is this time it came without an effort. That means it was not a show. There was a genuine actual smile on the thief's face. This is the entire story which was written by Raksin Bond.